I grew up in 60, watching those TV commercials with those starving kids in Africa who stared vacancy at the camera with sad eyes and distended bellies. And in sixth grade, my glee club teacher, Miss Colleen, had to change the words in this song we were singing. 3 million people in the world to 4 billion people in the world. And I was shocked. I couldn't believe that the population was so big, and I was even more shocked because no one else in the class seemed disturbed by this fact. For it to handle that I wasn't going to have any kids, Leah looked at me and she replied that she was going to have 3, and I felt pretty alone in my belief. And 37 years later, I still pretty alone in my beliefs, and I still shocked. No more people are disturbed by population growth. And I think it's because as species we decided not to talk about, to kind, or to tuck it away. So I'm here to untuck it. Modern men first show up on Earth 200,000 years ago, and by 1850 we had reproduced so successfully. There were 1 people on the planet. The next billion came in 100 years, 200,000 years to get the first billion, 100 years to get the second billion, and now we add 1 billion people to the planet every 12 years. And in 2011, the world population reached 7 billion people. Now this surge growth came about because the improvement of agriculture and medicine. Because as a species, we are biological success story, survival and the fittest. We are survived, and we also a religious success story. We have gone through and multiplied. But we have to stop, or it will be our downfall. And just to give you an idea how fast population grows, Bangladesh has a hurricane that killed 139,000 people, 2.5 weeks. Now the world population is growing at just 1% a year, which might not sound like very much, but 1% of 7 billion is actually a big number. It means that every day we add 220,000 people to the planet every day, and it is unsustainable. So the question is how? Will it stop growing because the farming, disease, or the war over resources? Or will stop because people choose to have smaller families? And by smaller families, I mean one-child families. This is where people start getting nervous talking about overpopulation and population issues because they're scared that I'm gonna take away their rights to have children. But I don't want to take people's rights away. I want to give people rights. Forcing people to have fewer children does not work. In fact, the fastest and most efficient way to stabilize the world population is to send girls to school and empower women, and to give everyone access to an education on birth control. And those are good things. And as a culture, we need to emphasize the benefits of having a one-child family. So people will choose to have fewer kids, because for thousands of years, we've been inculcated with this ethic of big families are happy families, and only children are only children. Couples like myself and my husband Ian, who have chosen not to have kids, and myself several times I have been accused of being selfish because of my decision not to have children. When it was important for us to procreate for our survival. For our survival, we have not to procreate, and we have to change and rewrite our biology and our culture to recognize the benefits of a one-child family, because right now mostly we see its negatives. For example, when a country's population falls, there's all this economic doom and gloom in the media because capitalism is based on internal growth. So yeah, when population lowers, the economy will suffer, but it will suffer less than if there's no more oil and food and water, because there are 10 billion people on the planet in 40 years, which is about UN is projecting. Now you might be thinking, okay, this population issue sounds troublesome, but we should be having the babies. We smart and we educated and we listen to TED Talks and we can afford kids and heck, our offspring, they might save the world. Oh Alexandra, you're such a good mother and your kids, they'll be wonderful. And they might be wonderful, but they would also be wasteful because North Americans use 32 times resources as someone from a developing country. For example, someone in the United States on average uses 176 uses 5 gallons a day. And it's not just a poor country either. We here in the United States, we use twice the energy as someone from France or England or Japan. There are a lot of countries that have a higher fertility rate. But we all have aspired to have one-child children, especially those of us living here. Maybe you're thinking, well, don't worry Alexandra, technology will save us. Yes, it's possible that we might be able to because some new inventions or technologies. But in the end, even if we feed and house 14 billion people, what would their lives be like? The population is going to have to stop growing at point, instead of wishing that some invention or technology will save us. That doesn't even exist yet, and we're not even sure works. So for everyone to have quality of life, the number of humans on Earth needs to go down, and I believe that it needs to go down to 2 billion people, which sounds radical because there are 7 billion on the planet today. But it's actually the world population of just 80 years ago. So let's change our idea of what the ideal family looks like. One is beautiful number. And let's not be afraid to talk about overpopulation, because it's not just taking rights away from people, it is about giving opportunity to women, children, future generations. And lastly, let's be part of solution and choose from now on to bring forth no more than one child ourselves. Thank you.